All right. You did. Good morning, Miss Ladon. How are you?
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm well, thank you.
All right. So, Mr. Brand, we are waiting for Mr. Posadas to be brought in from the jail. And will you need an opportunity to speak with him in a breakout room with Miss Ladon?
No, no, it's just a Killebrew deal, and no, I've already spoken to him about it.
Okay. Okay.
This is sentencing today, right? That's what we have it up for?
Yeah, but most of the time when I have an interpreter, the attorney needs to use the interpreter to review with them. So
no, I'm just gonna say what I just said, and I've got to
Okay.
move up to the immigration world after that.
So while we're waiting, I'm going to probably move on to another case because it might take a few minutes for the jail to get them here.
I may change computers in the next 5 minutes, so I might log back on.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
All right, so we're waiting for Mr. Rutan to come in. Mr. Rutan, can you hear me? Mr. Rutan is connecting to audio. Send him. Mr. Rutan, can you hear me? All right, sending him.
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. All right, so this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Matthew David Rutan, file number 21-20278FH. This is the date and time set for sentencing. We have attorney Andrew Kirkpatrick appearing on behalf of Mr. Rutan. And Mr. Kirkpatrick, could I have your P number, please?
Andrew Kirkpatrick, P number is 66842.
All right, very good. Thank you. So, Mr. Rutan, as I said, this is the date and time set for sentencing. Have you had an opportunity to read and review the pre-sentence report with your attorney?
Yes, I have.
All right. Are you satisfied with your attorney and the advice that he has given you?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Mr. Kirkpatrick or Mr. Rutan, do you wish to explain or challenge the accuracy or relevancy of any information in the pre-sentence report?
Your Honor, the only issue I have is in regards to the scoring. There's only one issue on the scoring. It does not change the guidelines.
Okay, well, we'll ask you about that in just a minute. So with regard to the information contained in the body of the report, though.
No objections, Your Honor, to that.
Okay, and does the pre-sentence report disclose any prior convictions in which there exists any known constitutional defect? I show no prior convictions.
Correct, Your Honor. He's zeros on the PRBs.
Okay. All right, so let's go to, in our county, we do not have prosecutors at sentencings unless they're given notice to appear. So, hold on. I don't even have sentencing guidelines in here because, all right. Hold on a second. Let me go get my sentencing guidelines. as I said, MDOC computed the guidelines to be 0 to 6 months. The PRVs are 0. And what is your dispute with the offense variables?
Your Honor, it's pretty straightforward. It's OB12. OB12 is.
Let me get to OB12. Hold on. All right. Very good. Go ahead.
OB12 is currently scored at 1 for a contemporaneous felonious criminal act. This initially was a 2-count complaint. It was felonious assault and felony firearm. Mr. Rutan pled to an amended count 3, the attempted felonious assault, which was from count 1. As the court will see from the guidelines, the possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony should not be counted when scoring OB12. And that's my guess, is that that's the other crime that was committed, the felonious assault, and then the felony firearm. So if that is in fact the case, I believe that that should be 0 and not 1. As I stated before, it does not change the guidelines, but that would be my only objection, Your Honor.
All right, hold on. 750-227B. Okay, so as I look at the original information, he was charged with count 1, assault with a dangerous weapon, felonious assault, and count 2, weapons, felony firearm, MCL 750.227B. Later on, an added count 3 for purposes of a plea was added, so we would not count that added count 3. And as I review the sentencing guidelines, it does state a felonious criminal act is contemporaneous if both of the following exist. And then it says violations of MCL 750.227B, possession of a firearm during the commission of felony or possession and use of a pneumatic gun should not be counted when scoring. So that does reflect in my guideline book. And that's the language in my book. So Mr. Moore, is this your file?
Yes, it's my file. We can remove that and change that.
Very good. So we will change then OB12 to 0.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
And other than that, everything else is factually accurate. The guidelines appear to be factually accurate. I have no other objections to the report.
Okay. All right, Mr. Moore, I just changed it to 0 on the form that I have. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. And I've signed that. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Oh, goodness, that was an easy one. All right. So, before the court passes sentence, is there anything, Mr. Kirkpatrick, you'd like to say on behalf of your client?
Just, Your Honor, I would ask the court to adopt the recommendations. The recommendations appear to be fair and appropriate. They also fall within the plea agreement that was set forth with the prosecuting attorney of no further jail. Mr. Rutan has no prior criminal history. I think that the recommendations from the probation department and the program set forth in there, I think, are appropriate. And I think Mr. Rutan will follow those. So I'd ask the court to adopt the recommendations.
All right, Mr. Rutan, is there anything you'd like to say on your own behalf before the court passes sentence? So, Mr. Rutan, we're having
Like
some
the-
bandwidth
I
issues.
apologize. I apologize to.
Mr. Rutan, stop. I know we have a delay. Could you either step outside or move where we're having some issues with bandwidth? So it's just,
Okay.
I'm going to turn off. Mr. Brand, can you turn off your video? And Miss LaDon, if you can turn off your video as well as Mr. Moore, that might help. Let's see. Mr. Rutan's going to move. All right. Let's get Mr. Rutan back. All right, Mr. Rutan, are you there?
Is that any better?
A little bit. All right, can you
Yeah,
turn your
can you hear
video
me?
on? For some reason, I don't have video on you now. It looks like your video's on.
Is it on?
Okay, but we just can't see you.
You see me?
Nope, and we can't really hear you either. Can you step outside or?
Can you hear me?
Much better now. Okay.
I'm on a PC. I can't really take it outside.
Okay.
Can
Have
you hear
you?
that?
Yes, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Oh, I just apologize to Cody Emmons for the things that happened.
Okay.
Oh, no.
No, it's okay, Mr. Rutan. It's okay. So did you, is your camera covered or did you close the camera on the computer?
No, no, I can see myself on my video.
All right. So Mr. Rutan, you are breaking up.
Oh, geez.
No, it's okay. So now you're okay. So, all right. So Mr. Kirkpatrick, obviously I don't have video of Mr. Rutan, but he can hear and understand the proceedings. Do you have any objection to proceeding without video of him?
No, Your Honor, and I will tell the court, I heard some of what he said. He wanted to apologize to the victim in this
Well,
case.
I'm gonna let him say it again. And
Okay.
we'll try again. I just wanted to know if you had any objection. So Mr. Rutan, is there anything you'd like to say?
Cody Emmons
Okay.
and
Mr. Rutan, hold on a second.
that
Mr.
no,
Mr. Rutan, hold on a second. Okay, Mr. Rutan,
They do live out where they have Comcast, so.
all right, I want him to call in, so I don't know. Mr. Rutan, do you have a way to call him, to give him a
I
number?
can call him right now, Your Honor. If the court gives me a number, I'll have him call immediately.
264-4577.
I will
And
call him.
then I can see he just dropped off. Okay, so he can actually zoom in and call in that way. Becky,
I'll- Right.
Becky, he'll call in, and if you can just pop him into the courtroom.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to the next sentencing while we're waiting. All right. All right, Miss Ladon, you can go ahead and start your video. I'm gonna swear you in before I even bring in Mr. Posadas. So can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will truly, accurately, and impartially interpret in the matter now before the court and not divulge confidential communications, so help you God? You're muted. I'm sorry, Miss Ladon.
I do.
Okay, excellent. All right, so I'm going to bring the jail in now with Mr. Posadas. All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Jamie Posadas.
Hoy es la audiencia del pueblo de Michigan contra el señor Jaime Posadas.
All right, and we have attorney Neil Brand appearing on behalf of Mr. Posadas.
El abogado Neil Brand, que está aquí de parte de Jaime Posadas.
And what is your P number, Mr. Brand?
Thank you.
Su número de licencia, señor Brand.
60137.
Okay, all right, so we're going to pause here.
60137.
Mr. Rutan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So if you can just give me a moment. I started another sentence while we were waiting. So I'll be right back with you. So you just kind of hang out there and you'll be fine, all right?
Me está dejando saber a un señor que acaba de llamar que espere un momentito.
So, Mr. Posadas, have you had an opportunity to read and review the pre-sentence report?
Señor Posadas, ¿ha tenido usted la oportunidad de leer y chequear el reporte previa sentencia?
No, la verdad no lo leí.
Not really. Actually, I haven't read it.
Okay. Did you meet with your client or with your attorney to review it at all?
¿Usted se reunió con su abogado para revisarlo?
¿Perdón?
Pardon me?
No, no le escuché muy bien.
I didn't hear you very well.
All right, Mr. Kirkpatrick, Mr. Brand, do you want a moment with your client? in a
That's fine.
breakout?
Yeah, we've already discussed this, but that's fine. We'll do it again. Very
Okay,
brief-
so-
brief.
Ms. Ladon, if you will let Mr. Posadas know that I'm going to open up a breakout room and that he'll be able to meet with you and his attorney to review that again. All right. And just tell him to click join.
2 minutes, I'll be back.
Señor Posada, la juez nos va a poner a usted, su abogado y a mí en un salón aparte. Usted va a tener que tocar el botoncito azul que dice join cuando ella nos ponga en ese salón.
Ok.
Ok.
All right.
Está bien.
I've opened the room. Okay, so now I'm going to hop back to Mr. Rutan. So Mr. Rutan, you have now called in, and can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, and Sue Applin, court reporter, can you hear Mr. Rutan?
Yes, I can.
All right, very good. And Mr. Kirkpatrick, you can hear him as well.
Yes, I can, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, so where were we? All right, so I don't even remember where we were.
Your Honor, I think you were
in
going
the guidelines.
to,
Okay,
if you had anything to
Yep.
say.
so Mr. Rutan, is there anything you'd like to say on your own behalf?
Just that I'd like to apologize to Cody Emmons for this ordeal and that I'm sorry.
Okay. I don't know. Nobody told me about a victim. So let me see who this person is that just popped in. I don't even recognize the name. So give me 1 second. It's like an attorney. Mr. Malinowski, are you an attorney on a case?
Yes, I've got a hearing scheduled for 9 on Rose.
Okay, we'll be a minute. I'm doing sentencing, so you can mute yourself, turn off your video or whatever. And
All right,
okay, all right. So, Mr. Rutan, anything else you'd like to say?
No, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Kirkpatrick, anything?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, in determining the appropriate sentence in this case, the court has considered the seriousness of the offense, your history, the principle of proportionality, the statutory penalty, the cost of confinement, the sentencing guidelines, the report and recommendation of the probation department, as well as what has been set upon the record at this hearing. The criteria and the reasons for the sentence are the nature and gravity of the offense, the discipline appropriate to its commission, deterrence against repetition by you and by others, the potential for reformation, vindication for the law and protection of society. It's a sentence of the court that you will be placed on probation for a period of 3 years. During that term of probation, you will obey and comply with all the provisions in your articles of probation. We'll give you credit for 22 days you've already served. You will pay a $60 DNA fee, $68 in state costs, crime victim assessment fee in the amount of $130. You'll pay a supervision fee of $30 per month or $60 per month if you require electronic monitoring, and you will pay court costs in the amount of $750. Mr. Moore will set, or Miss Walsh will set up this is a Mr. Moore file. I'm sorry. Mr. Moore will set up a monthly amount you must pay. Understand that failure to pay or comply could result in a violation of probation and jail or prison. Do you understand that, Mr. Rutan?
Yes, I do.
All right, so you do have a right to appeal this sentence. Mr. Kirkpatrick, I have appellate paperwork. We can email it to you and you can have him sign one copy and mail it back to me, or I can mail it directly to him. What is your choice?
Your Honor, if it can be emailed to me, I will have him sign it this weekend and I will mail it back to the court.
Okay, so we will email that to you. What is your email, sir?
Andrew, so my first name, ANDREW, at JXNLAW.com. So it's Jackson Law, but the Jackson is JXN.
Yep, got it. All right, so we will email that to your attorney, and then he'll have you sign one copy, and that's got to be returned to me, so it goes in my file, so I know that you've received that paperwork. The other copies are for you. If you wish to appeal your sentence, you would have to fill out the forms and mail them to the address listed on the form within 42 days, and you can obviously have that discussion with Mr. Kirkpatrick. Mr. Moore, do you have his telephone number?
Yes, I'll give him a call right after sentencing and speak with him regarding his probation order.
All right, so Mr. Rutan, Mr. Moore will be giving you a call, and just make sure you pick up, all right?
Yep, will do.
All right, very good. Thank you all.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Your Honor. Good weekend.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Mr. Moore?
Yes.
I just wanted to let you know that the thing we talked about the other day,
Yes.
I had Sierra do some research, and you're right. I just wanted on the record for someone to actually tell you you're right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
Sorry, I didn't write that on the record.
Oh,
Okay. All right. So now we are just waiting for Mr. Posadas. Okay. So just be a minute. All right, let me close that breakout room. Okay, so we are back on the record with Mr. Posadas.
Estamos de vuelta en el acta con el señor Posadas.
Mr. Posadas, have you now had a chance to review the pre-sentence report with your attorney?
Señor Posadas, ahora ha tenido chance de revisar su reporte previo a la sentencia con su abogado.
Sí, ya mi abogado él se hace cargo de todo.
Yes, my attorney is going to take care of everything.
Okay. Are you satisfied with your attorney and the advice he's given you, Mr. Posadas?
¿Está usted satisfecho con el servicio que su abogado le ha proporcionado?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. Do you wish to explain or challenge the accuracy or relevancy of any information in the pre-sentence report?
¿Quiere usted protestar cualquier detalle de su reporte, ya sea porque hay algún error o cualquier asunto del reporte?
No.
No.
And Mr. Brand?
Equally, no.
Okay. Does the pre-sentence report disclose any prior convictions in which there exists any known constitutional defect? Mr. Brand, I see 0 prior convictions.
La señora juez preguntó que si en el reporte aparece mencionan algún arresto previo y ella vio que no hay ninguno.
Right. To the best of my knowledge, that is correct.
Sí, según yo entiendo, eso es correcto.
Okay. The probation department has computed the minimum sentencing guidelines to be 0 to 6 months.
El Departamento de Libertad Supervisada ha calculado que su tiempo debería ser entre 0 a 6 meses.
Mr. Brand, do you agree with that computational guidelines?
Señor Graham, ¿está usted de acuerdo que sacaron la cuenta bien?
Yes, that was done correctly.
All right.
Lo hicieron correctamente.
Before the court passes sentence, is there anything, Mr. Brand, you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Antes de dictar la sentencia, ¿hay algo que usted quiera decir, señor Posadas?
Your Honor,
No.
Your Honor, my client is a Mexican national with no citizenship or rights to be in the United States at this time.
Señora juez, mi cliente es de nacionalidad mexicana con ningún derecho a ciudadanía estadounidense y no tiene ninguna manera de permanecer aquí en los Estados Unidos.
I would like the record to be made that I am an immigration attorney as well as a criminal attorney.
Quiero que conste en el acta que yo soy abogado criminal y también abogado de inmigración.
I've advised my client on everything he needs to do from an immigration standpoint as well as a standpoint in this courtroom.
Le he aconsejado a mi cliente todo lo que él debe hacer del punto de vista de inmigración, así como en este caso, en esta corte.
Mr. Posadas, is that true that I advised you regarding your immigration rights in this matter?
Señor Posadas, ¿es cierto que yo le aconsejé en respecto a migración en este caso?
Did I advise you regarding your immigration rights in this as it applies to this criminal matter?
Le aconsejé yo acerca de sus derechos de inmigración en respecto a este caso.
No, está bien, todo está bien.
Yes, everything's good.
And every time I spoke to you, did I have a Spanish language interpreter present with me?
Y cada vez que yo conversé con usted, yo tuve un intérprete presente.
Sí.
Your Honor, my client has family in Mexico that he looks forward to reuniting with soon.
Su señoría, mi cliente tiene familia en México que él está ansioso de reunirse con ellos otra vez.
Including his mother, his children, and many siblings.
Incluyendo su mamá, sus hermanos y sus hijos.
My client is sorry for what he has done in the United States and wishes to turn the page on this chapter.
Mi cliente se disculpa y se siente mal por lo que ocurrió aquí en los Estados Unidos y está ansioso de regresar a su país.
My client, when he returns to Mexico, will be employed as a mason.
Mi cliente cuando llegue a México va a trabajar de albañil.
And is extremely talented at his job.
Y tiene mucho talento en su oficio.
My client thanks the prosecutor and the court.
Mi cliente le da las gracias a la corte y a la fiscalía.
And just wishes to finish with this Killebrew deal at this
Y
time.
él quiere terminar con este asunto de una vez por todas.
Thank you.
Gracias.
And the court, for the record, will also state that at the time of arraignment and taking of the plea, he was also by the court given notice of his immigration status and rights.
Y también quiero decir para que conste en el acta que cuando él fue capturado y le leyeron sus cargos, le dijeron, le dieron consejo acerca de sus derechos de inmigración también.
Mr. Posadas, is there anything you'd like to say on your own behalf?
Señor Posadas, ¿hay algo que usted quiera decir de parte suya?
No, todo está bien.
No, everything's good.
Okay. All right. In determining the appropriate sentence in this case,
Al determinar la sentencia apropiada en este caso,
the court has considered the seriousness of the offense,
la Corte ha considerado la seriedad de esta ofensa,
your history,
su historial,
the principle of proportionality,
el concepto de proporcionalidad,
the statutory penalty,
las penalidades por estatuto,
the cost of confinement,
el costo de estar preso,
the sentencing guidelines,
las pautas de sentencia,
the report and recommendation of the probation department,
el reporte y las recomendaciones del Departamento de Probation o Libertad Supervisada,
as well as what has been said upon the record at this hearing.
así como lo que se ha dicho en el acta en este momento.
The criteria and reasons for the sentence
Es las razones para la sentencia,
are the nature and gravity of the offense,
es la naturaleza y severidad de la ofensa,
the discipline appropriate to its commission,
la disciplina para cometerlo,
deterrence against repetition by you and by others,
la probabilidad de repetirlo, ya sea por usted o por otros,
the potential for reformation,
el potencial de reafirmación,
vindication for the law,
la vindicación de la ley
and the protection of society.
y la protección de la sociedad.
It is the sentence of the court that you will serve 295 days in jail,
Es la sentencia de la corte que usted cumpla 295 días en la cárcel
with credit for 295 days,
con crédito de 295 días.
there is no probation,
No hay libertad supervisada.
you are to have no contact with Noemi Ortiz,
No debe tener ningún contacto con Noemí Ortiz.
you will pay a $60 DNA fee,
Va a pagar $60 por la prueba de ADN,
$68 in state costs,
$68 de costos del Estado
and a $130 crime victim assessment fee.
y $130 de la asesoría de víctimas de crímenes.
Now, you do have the right to appeal this sentence.
Ahora, usted tiene el derecho de apelar esta sentencia.
We are going to send to you 3 copies of your notice of right to appellate review,
Le vamos a mandar 3 copias de los papeles para apelar y revisar el caso.
please sign 1 copy for our court file acknowledging that you received the forms.
Por favor, firme una de las copias para reconocer que le entregamos esos papeles.
If you wish to appeal your sentence,
Si usted desea apelar su sentencia,
you would fill out the other forms and mail them to the address listed on the form within 42 days.
usted puede llenar las otras 2 copias y mandarlas por correo a la dirección que aparece en los formularios antes de que pasen 42 días.
I wish you the best of luck.
Le deseo lo mejor.
Mr. Brand, thank you. Ms. Ladon, thank you. And Mr. Posadas, thank you.
Your Honor, one real fast little technical thing here.
Sure.
Algo técnico que quiero señalar.
Mr. Posadas, when you receive the acknowledgement of appeal form,
Señor Posada, cuando usted reciba el reconocimiento, el formulario de reconocimiento de apelación,
that is a document that you can and I advise you to sign.
ese es uno de los documentos que usted puede y le aconsejo que lo firme.
I know there were some documents I explained to you do not sign.
Yo sé que yo le había explicado que hay algunos documentos que usted no debe firmar,
But that is just a document where you are acknowledging that you have the right to appeal.
pero ese documento es solamente reconociendo que usted tiene el derecho de apelar.
It does not mean that you are going to appeal.
Pero no significa que usted va a apelar.
And I strongly advise you not to appeal.
Y le recomiendo que no apele.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Gracias, su señoría.
Do you have any questions, Mr. Posadas?
¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta, señor Posada?
No, está bien todo.
No, everything's good.
All right, very good. Thank you both. Thank you all. Have a good
Judge.
day.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias a todos. Tenga buen día.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Ladon.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Walsh. All right, Mr. Milanowski and Ms. Horn, I'm going to step off the bench for just a second. Mr. Moore, do we have anything else with you?